So if you are my age, you would have known who she is. Unfortunately, she passed away at the age of 38, at a very young age. Someone who's fit, fabulous, healthy, wealthy, but she passed away at the age of 38 because of something is not right with the heart. Now, if you look at the middle picture right at the top, there is a footballer, Christian Eriksen, and he's a very fit man. While playing on the field, he collapsed. Again, heart attack. And these are the people, as you can see here. It can be anybody. It can be an actor. It can be a singer. It can become a cricketer as well. Someone who's fit, who thinks that they are fit. Unfortunately, something that is wrong with the heart, which is not being diagnosed, and they do not know about it, and something bad happened. Now, let's look at people who are helping others. The doctors. Nizamabad doctor dies of heart attack, patient 2 succumbs. So what is happening here is that the doctor was attending to this patient, and the doctor himself, he had an heart attack and he died. So the patient that he's supposed to help couldn't be helped. The patient also died after that. So 28-year-old doctor at Hyderabad's Gandhi Hospital dies of heart attack as well. And then we'll be looking at the renowned liver surgeon who performed transplant on celebrity Andrea De Cruz, who dies at the age of 68. Now, in our eyes, 68 is a very young age to die because our DNA, we supposed to live up to 120 years. That is scientifically proven, yeah? 120 years. So looking at here, Andrea De Cruz doctor who helped Andrea De Cruz when she took the supplements with chemicals in it, and she nearly died. And the doctor who saved her died of heart attack. Now, this topic tonight is close to my heart because when I was 18 years old, my dad, he went to work. My dad was only 55 years old. When he went to work, he did not return home. He passed away because of heart attack. And I was 18 years old at that time. Nothing much that I knew about how health is all about, what is heart attack as well. Because when I was 18 years old, we don't have internets. We don't have handphones. The only thing that we can get information from is from the books in the library. And I came from a very poor family as well. To where I am today, a lot of things have changed and we become more and more educated about health. And I believe that all of you tonight are very well educated about health as well. And that's the reason why you are here, because you want to know more about health and especially on the heart disease itself. So ladies and gentlemen, let's look at May 12th, and this is on this year itself. A few months ago, there was a Zoom talk. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about myocarditis, that is a heart disease, and myocarditis has gone up to 2,800%. Now, I want you to remember this number, 2,800% has went up. And it all started about 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, we have introduced the experimental vaccine to our body. Now, every data that they have shown here has gone up. Cancers has gone up. Infertility has gone up as well. Miscarriages has gone up. So what we're looking at here is that how can we, in these modern times, to bring down this data. Now, this data came from Defense Medical Epidemiology Database. Now, who uses this data? This is used by the US military medical providers. Now, these are the people who have this data, and these are the people who are collaborating with all the doctors throughout the world and looking at how they can rectify these issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we will show you how you can rectify these issues as well, if it are already happening to you. So, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, this is from CDC itself. Now, if you look at the date, this is updated July 14, 2022. Now, CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they says that myocarditis and pericarditis after mRNA COVID-19 vaccination. Now, we need to understand that this mRNA COVID-19 is an experimental vaccination. I need you to understand that. And it is still an experimental vaccine. Now, let's look further down. You can see here, myocarditis. I'm going to make it bigger so everybody can read. So myocarditis is inflammation of the heart muscle. Now, this is the topic that I'm going to talk about today, the heart diseases that you're going to have, correct? So pericarditis is an inflammation of the outer lining of the heart. How can we clear the inflammations? How can we clear the toxicity that we already put into our body? And we're going to talk about the solution later part of this presentation. So World Health Organization, World Heart Federation says this: cardiovascular disease is the world's #1 killer. 18.6 million deaths every single year from cardiovascular disease. So global causes of death, if you look at here, 18.6 million people. CVD, cancer is 10 million, and the numbers are rising. Now, it is not like something that we like, but this is happening right now. And every single one of us, you and me included, we need to do something about it. Now, if you look at the risk factors for cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure is one of them. High cholesterol. When we talk about high cholesterol, we're talking about high inflammation. Yeah? Cholesterol is good for you. So I'm gonna move that away from there. I'm gonna say high inflammation. So overweight and being obesity, that also creates a very high inflammations in your body. Air pollution, physical inactivity. So if you have not done any exercises for the last 1-2 years, it is good time for you to start exercising. Unhealthy diet. Now, this is fantastic because the other day when I went to the market, I met an old friend. So I saw him at the roadside. Then we start talking, say, hey, hi, how's things with you? Then I looked at him and said, are you going for lunch? He says that, no, today we tapao, meaning they take away. He is giving the kitchen a free day. And it was on Sunday, correct? And I said, what do you tapao? What do you take away? It was a McDonald's stuff, McDonald's meals. And these are the meals that we should not be eating. It's an unhealthy food that we should avoid at all costs. As much as you possibly can, do not take unhealthy diet. Having said that, diabetes, tobacco consumption, kidney disease can also give you these risk factors for cardiovascular disease, and harmful use of alcohol. So there are many factors here that we're going to discuss tonight. So Singapore statistics, if you look at the years itself, 2018, 2019, and 2020, every single year, the numbers are increasing. Why are the numbers increasing? Are we not becoming more knowledgeable about health? Are we not more concerned about health as well? So this is where we're going to look at this. Why are the numbers keep rising? If we are so intelligent and the body is intelligent enough, these numbers should go down, not going up, correct? We're going to discuss that as well. So what is heart disease? So basically, I'm telling you here is that what is heart disease? So easier for us to understand this. It can go by many names: arrhythmias, angina, coronary artery disease, and genetic defects as well. So there are many names related to heart disease. And I'm going to explain that later on. So it involves narrowed or blocked blood vessels, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Now, at the same time, many types of heart disease and cardiovascular diseases can be prevented with diet and lifestyle changes. It is the same thing with diabetes, correct? It can be prevented and it can be reversed as well with diet and lifestyle changes, not through medication. I'm going to repeat that, yeah? Many types of heart diseases and also the metabolic disorder that is diabetes Everything can be prevented with diet and lifestyle changes. And we can also use the traditional remedy, which I'm going to explain later. That is the solution part. How can you prevent heart diseases and how can you reverse it? And that's the solution part of it will be at the end of this presentation. So, types of heart and cardiovascular diseases that we are looking at here. Ischemic heart disease. Now, this is a condition which compromises blood flow to the heart. If you can look at the picture itself, okay, give me 1 second here.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I need to move this a bit. Sorry, give me 1 second, yeah. Okay. All right, the moment when the host is, bring it down. To record this, I have to come out from it and then click on it to say it's okay. So now I'm going to continue back. Okay. So ischemic heart disease itself, you can see the picture. There's a arteries that's going there, but when there is blood flow is being compromised, this is where we say that it's going to have a myocardial infarction. So when you sit down with a doctor or cardiologist for that matter, all right, if they use scientific term just like this, myocardial infarction, if you're not sure about it, you're going to ask them what it is, and they're going to say heart attack. Okay, that is the terms that we are all used to, heart attack. So it's the same word. Myocardial infarction means heart attack, simple as that. But it is an ischemic heart disease. Now, having said that, angina is caused by atherosclerosis. Now, this is the decrease in blood flow to the heart muscles and causes pain. So when you have, as you were walking, suddenly you will feel breathless, correct? And then suddenly you feel that your heart is in pain. Now, this is one of the conditions that you're going to have. It can also be an ischemic heart disease as well. Now, having said that, atherosclerosis can also lead to a number of diseases, such as peripheral artery disease. I'm going to explain that. Carotid artery disease and chronic kidney disease. So let's look at the peripheral artery disease. Now, this is how it works. As long as there is a blood clot or the blood doesn't move in your arteries, and it happens in the lower part of your body, and that is called PAD, peripheral artery disease. All right, as long as it happens below or lower part of your body, and this is what it is called. Now, basically what it's saying here is that 1 in 6 people we're going to get this even after 30 days after revascularization. And then the cost of it is about 11 over 1,000. Right now, the prices has gone up. Okay, the treatment cost has gone up at least about $20,000 right now. And all this can be prevented easily, and it can also be reversed at the same time. Now, let's look at the carotid artery disease. Now, this is how it works. The carotid artery disease is a blood flow towards your brain. Okay, towards, yeah, carotid. That means it's somewhere nearby here. If you can see from the picture itself, on the left side of the middle picture, there'll be a blockages here. So this is where it happens. Now, at the same time, the chronic kidney disease comes in. How does chronic kidney disease relates to heart disease? Correct? That is the question. We're going to explain that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, cerebrovascular disease is another disease that we are looking at. And this is a disease that happens in your brain. Now, 800,000 strokes in the US alone. Now, if you look at globally, the numbers are by the millions. And stroke is an interruption of blood flow to your brain. And a lot of people have been affected by this. Now, without oxygen, the neurons, the cells in your brain will die. And some people that you can see that is walking around, and we always see this happens on the older generation, but it's no longer happening to the older generations. The younger generations are beginning to have this as well. So there are 2 types of stroke: hemorrhagic, that means ruptures in your arteries, and they call it in your blood vessels in your brain. And then ischemic, blocks of a blood vessel. So it can be a rupture, and they call it aneurysm. It can also be a blockages in your blood vessels that block the blood flow to your brain cells. Yeah. All right. So this is what stroke is all about. Now, what causes heart diseases? We're looking at coronary artery disease, the CAD itself, high blood pressure. Now, the doctors will always tell you this, oh, you have a high blood pressure, and then they will give you medications, correct? Because they're going to tell you this, you have a high blood pressure, so the chances of you having a coronary artery disease, or the simple term that they're going to use is this, the chances of you getting a heart attack is high because you have a high blood pressure. They're going to give you a medication. Now, the medication itself can lead to you having a heart disease. I'll show you the data and scientific proof of it. Now, smoking, we all know this. There are 7,000 chemicals in every single sticks that you smoke. So if you're a smoker, I highly suggest that quit. If you cannot quit, because some of you say that, no, that is the only thing that I love to do, okay? I don't do any other things, but smoking, I cannot quit. So if you cannot quit smoking, what you can do is clear the inflammations. And we will show you the solutions at the end of this presentation. Now, family history of CAD, like my dad, he died at the age of 55 because of heart attack. So theoretically, I should be dying of heart attack as well, correct? Because my dad died of heart attack. But the way I look at it is that because the scientific proof out there says that it is not genetic, it is you design your own health. So you are in charge of your health. If your diet, your lifestyle, the way you live is bad, and you don't sleep enough, and this can lead you to heart disease as well and heart attack. So it is entirely up to you. So diabetes is another way, metabolic disorder here, and being overweight. Again, your lifestyle and your eating habit, changes in that can help you as well. So these are the causes of heart diseases and what puts you at risk. Let's look at high blood pressure first. The single greatest risk factor for having a stroke is high blood pressure. Now, this is according to FDA, World Health Organization, by CDC, and every single one of them. And it also plays a big role in heart attacks as well. Hypertension can be treated and reversed, but only through proper management. And this is what I put, okay? Hypertension can be treated and reversed, but only through proper management. Now, at the same time, high LDL and high triglycerides. These are often used as a biomarker for heart diseases. Now, let's talk a bit about this, because a lot of people think that cholesterol or high cholesterol is the causes of heart attack. It is not true. The body needs cholesterol, and when there is not enough cholesterol in the body itself, your liver, will produce cholesterol. Now, you need to understand that your body is intelligent. Your body is designed to live, and that's what it does. But when you interfere with the body by putting in too much prescription drugs or toxins into your body, the body goes haywire, and the body needs to clear the inflammation. So you need to look at the LDL and high triglyceride, and these are the markers for heart attack, not cholesterol, yeah? Now, medications that can raise your blood pressure. Remember, we're talking about blood pressure, and blood pressure is one of the risk factor that you can get heart attack. So medications can also raise your blood pressure. Now, here are 10 medications known to raise systolic blood pressure. NSAIDs, duloxetine is for, okay, if you look at here, the NSAIDs, ibuprofen, Motrin, Advil, and naproxen, you can buy it over the counter easily. When I was in US, I traveled to US very often. Every single month I was in US at that time. And these drugs that you can get, you can just walk into any pharmacy. Walmart, you can just walk into Walmart. You can walk into first aid and you can just buy this over the counter easily. And everybody's buying this and they just bring it back home. They just look at how many dosages and they just take it. They don't read anything else, correct? So duloxetine, this is for depression. And we believe that there's the depression on the teenagers nowadays in Singapore and Malaysia is very, very high. And we need to treat them through the probiotics because there are good bacteria in your body that can reduce the depression by anyone. It can be a teenager, it can be an adult, all right? You need to introduce good bacteria to your gut. Your gut will repair your body. You will not go through depression, not through prescription drugs. So these are the 10 drugs that can raise your blood pressure. Now, at the same time, smoking increases your risk whether you are smoking or using a smokeless tobacco products. Both are harmful. It can damage your blood vessels, raise inflammation levels, and cause your blood pressure to rise. Now, in this presentation, I will always use this word inflammation, okay? Because this is the leading cause for all diseases. Now, at the same time, let's look at the family history. Remember, I was saying that my dad, he died of heart attack. He was 55 years old. Now, it is defined by having a first-degree male relative, father or brother, who had a heart attack by age 55, or a first-degree female relative, mother or sister, by the age of 65. So, if you have in your family who already died, or someone who had heart attack, or stroke for that matter, or heart diseases, you need to look at your lifestyle, change in it, your eating habits, and you may have some issues later on relating to this. What should you do now so that you will not go into the same situation as them? Okay, and this is what we need to do. Now, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is a major factor in heart disease and stroke incidents. And this is that if you are a diabetic patient, you are twice as likely to develop heart disease as well. So let's look at being overweight or obese. A diet high in saturated fats, trans fat, high sodium and sugar can worsen the risk factors here. Now, the way I look at here is that sugar is the worst food that you can eat. As much as you possibly can, avoid that sugar. It causes a very high inflammations in your body, and this is the thing that you must avoid. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is from Diabetes in Control. I'm going to show you a lot of data, a lot of scientific proof, scientific research by a lot of doctors. Now, 443 drugs that can affect your blood glucose level. Now, you are a healthy person, and suddenly by taking all these prescription drugs, you become a diabetic. Okay, and this can happen. You can become a diabetic because you were prescribed a prescription drugs, medication by your doctor. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you the references later part of this presentation. You can always look it up and do your own research through all these references, okay? So 443 drugs that can affect blood glucose level. So it is not because of you, it is because of the prescription drugs that you have been taking. Now, this is just some of the prescription drugs that can cause you being a diabetic. And it starts with A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z. So I just took the A part here. Just an example, albuterol, alectinib, aliskiren. These are names that we'll never understand how it is being pronounced and what it is being used until you go and Google it out. All right. So having said that, the associations of fats and carbohydrate intake with cardiovascular disease and mortality in 18 countries. Now, high carbohydrate intake was associated with a higher risk of total mortality, whereas total fat and individual types of fat were related to lower total mortality. So total fat and types of fat were not associated with cardiovascular disease, you need to understand, yeah, total fat and types of fat were not associated with cardiovascular disease, myocardial infarction, or cardiovascular disease mortality, whereas saturated fat had inverse association with stroke as well. So it is the high intake of carbohydrates. So if you're taking a lot of mee goreng, roti prata, rice, okay, these are the things that you're gonna look at. If you can, as much as you possibly can, you cut down on all these things, okay. So the signs on why seed oils are terrible for you. Now, eating seed oils is like playing a Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. A lot of talk recently about them being bad for you. Seed oil has been bad throughout the last 100 years, but they have manipulated the information, okay. So you were given a wrong information and you believed that wrong information, and especially our parents those days, they were given this information, and because there were no internet those days, and it lives through you as well right now, and you believe that the seed oil are good for you. Now I'm going to show you the actual signs so that you can decide for yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are buying from the supermarket, correct? We go to NTUC, we go to Giant, and we look at the, oh, okay, this is a plant oils that is good for us. No, it is not. So the brief history on how it came about. So this is one of the biggest change to our diet in the last 100 years. It has been these oils. Before that, in the 1900s, everybody were using animal fats to cook. Before that, way before that, all right? So when they were using animal fats, okay, there were not many age-related diseases, heart attacks, cancer, dementia, Parkinson's, not many, okay? Since they changed to plant-based or seeds oil, okay, this is what happened. So since the animal fat consumption has created meaning when they bring down the fat consumption because of the media, when you read the newspapers too much, when you watch the media too much, they will give you informations on what they want you to see. But when you go deeper into it, you will understand that it is not right or not true. Okay. Now, these are the charts that you can see in 1860, 1880, 1900. And the moment they introduced the seeds oil, just an example I'm going to show you is that the vegetable oils, correct? This is when it started to rise. And people start having a lot of issues with their health. So I'll spare you the entire story, but heart disease ramped up because of that. Now, how it happened is like this. Now, there's this gentleman, he's a doctor as well and a scientist. His name is Ansel Keys. Okay, Ansel Keys says that the LDL, low density lipoprotein, contributed to heart disease, and that saturated fat was the culprit for raising LDL. Saturated fat is good for you, yeah? So, but according to him, saturated fat is the culprit. Now, as we go deeper, if you look at my background as a nutritionist, I will go deeper and I say, why is it so? So Ansel Keys, he came up with this diet heart hypothesis. You need to understand this word, hypothesis, meaning it is not clinically done. It is a hypothesis. It's a thesis. This is what he says. That's about it. So American Heart Association signed off on polyunsaturated fats as a heart healthy in the mid-1900s, and they were paid. Now, in the mid-1900s, okay, American Heart Association, when they started, they were doing well. They were doing good. I mean, good intention. But American Heart Association doesn't have the fund, meaning doesn't have enough money. So what P&G, Procter and Gamble, is another company, okay? This company produces Crisco. Crisco is a vegetable oil product. So so Procter and Gamble funded American heart disease. So when they fund American heart disease, whatever they say, American heart disease will say yes. You get what I mean right now, yeah? So this is what happened. And since then, we have been completely indoctrinated into the view that saturated fat clogs your arteries and polyunsaturated fats clears them. Now, this is untrue. Okay. So Procter & Gamble introduced in 1911 a Crisco. This is a vegetable oil. And of course, they funded American Heart Association and gave them $1.7 million. And in 1900, $1.7 million is a lot of money. Okay. So once American Heart Association gets the money, they just say yes to Procter and Gamble in whatever they say, and then they just publish it. And this is the wrong thing to do. So what we're looking at here is corruption at the highest level. But who is benefiting it? These two is benefiting it. But who is getting all the diseases? People like you and me, who has been indoctrinated with the information. Now, American Heart Association advised the public to eat less saturated fat and switch to vegetable oils for a healthy heart. Again, this is not true, yeah? So we have been misled to believe that. Heart disease is now number 2 killer in the USA. What will it take to the people to wake up? So what I'm giving you is informations and the references behind at the end of this presentation, and you need to go and do your own research as well. So meanwhile, despite Americans dutifully following this advice, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and cancer are skyrocketing. Okay, now, my dad and my mom, of course, those days, when we all were younger, correct? They also read newspapers. And whatever the government publish, the government wants you to read what they want you to read. And that is what happened. So when it was published, they says that the vegetable oil is good for them. So my mom and dad switched to vegetable oils. Indians, we always use ghee. Ghee is animal fat from the cow, the milk itself, correct? And we always use ghee to cook all our food. Everything was okay until we changed to this. And then my dad has a diabetic. He has a heart issues. My mom has diabetic. Everybody's having issues with their heart except the kids because we were young. And we exercised a lot during that time as well. So what happened here is that the modern medicine wants us to believe that these diseases are unrelated. But everything it goes back to this. But they all tend to occur together and are tied to mitochondrial dysfunction as well. If you look at the chart itself, the percentage went up drastically up to 2022 and it's still going up. So my information for you tonight is that you have to quit all these things. Don't use this vegetable oil. Change it to ghee. Ghee is one of the healthiest animal fat that you can use. All right. Some people, they use butter to cook. I use butter to cook most of my dishes as well. So use this. So what about cholesterol? Again, we're saying here in 1961, 1984, cholesterol is bad. So as more doctors and scientists become more knowledgeable, more nutritionists are coming out, and more research has been done. In 2014, they say that you must eat butter. But before that, they say that butter is bad for you. So right now, they say butter is good for you. And what about cholesterol? Cholesterol is also good for you. And every single cells in your body, you have trillions of them. Every single cells need, the membrane of your cells needs cholesterol. Your myelin sheath needs cholesterol. Your body will produce cholesterol by itself when you don't put enough cholesterol in your body. Now, the truth about cholesterol itself, there's a lot of books out there that you should read about it. And if you look at the first book right at the top here, 29 billion reasons to lie about cholesterol. That is how big the pharmaceutical industry is making. And it is fantastic. In 1981, when they're talking about cholesterol, they were saying that if your cholesterol level is 150 to 300, that means it is normal. 300 is normal. Even if you go to 400, is this okay? But right now, when your cholesterol level is 200, your doctor will straight away prescribe you statin. And that is a wrong thing to do. You should not take statin. I just came back from the gym earlier, about half an hour before I started this presentation. I finished the gym, I came back home. I met this guy who's also another friend. He was in the gym, and he says that the doctor prescribed him statin a few years ago. But the last 2 years, he says that he stopped statin because he feels that statin makes his health become worse. And I told him that he did the right thing. Anyone, to me, this is my advice. If you have statin, you're taking statin, you should stop it. Statin create more chaos in your body than giving you what is needed. Now, 6 reasons why you need cholesterol. You need cholesterol because your hormones needs it. Every single hormones in your body needs the healthy cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is essential to make vitamin D naturally in our body. You need to understand that when you go under the sun, the body produce vitamin D naturally, and nearly 77% of cancer can be eradicated just by you getting vitamin D naturally. But right now, how many of us are getting vitamin D? We get up in the morning before the sun is out. We are already out from the house and we are already at the working place. Correct? And by the time you finish everything, you come out from your working place, you're in the bus, you don't even get a 10 minutes sun. And you are at home busy preparing dinner for the ladies, and I know some men who prepares dinner for the family members as well. So if you're a fair person, just go 15-20 minutes under the sun, you would have gotten a daily requirement of your vitamin D. It is as easy as that. So you need to do that. If you're slightly darker skin, just go about 25 to 30 minutes. Like me, I'm a darker skin. I just need to go slightly longer. Now, number 3, cholesterol stored in the liver is oxidized to form bile acid. Now, your gallbladder is important. It has a function in your body. A lot of doctors, oncologists for that matter, if you have issues with the gallbladder, cancer, they will say that we must remove your gallbladder. It's a wrong thing to do again, yeah? I studied the epigenetic of cancer. Again, I'm going to say this, a lot of things they're doing is wrong. I just heard from another friend of mine, and she met another friend, and that friend they have not met, they were talking about it, and then they says that friend came back after 70 days of MC. And what happened was he had a colon cancer, and the doctor removed his colon. Again, I'm going to say it's a wrong thing to do because cancer can be helped, can be treated naturally as well. Never remove things from your body. God give you all organs in your body with a function, and it needs to be there. Now, number 4, 25% of your cholesterol is found in your brain. You need healthy levels of cholesterol for optimal function. When you take statin, it lowers your cholesterol. Now, your brain needs that. Anyone who has been taking statin for his lifetime, dementia, Alzheimer will come in, definitely. And this is what you need to stop statin. Number 5, cholesterol is essential to make the insulating myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is an information powerhouse. It gives you information between cells as well. Now, number 6, membrane of your cell is made from cholesterol. Remember, I said earlier on, every single cells in your body, the membrane itself needs cholesterol. Now, these are the 6 reasons. Of course, there are many other reasons, but I'm just going to put here 6 reasons itself. So if you look at the picture at the bottom, 1984, this is bad, but right now, all the research says that you need cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is the mother of all hormones. If it's a mother of all hormones, why do you need to bring it down? Correct? If it's a mother of all hormones, why do you need prescription drugs to bring it down? It doesn't make sense. Now, at the same time, the vitamin D is a precursor. UVB radiations from the sun itself comes in. Your liver, with the help of kidney, will give your body an active vitamin D. Now, vitamin D itself is a nutrient for the entire body. So if you don't have enough vitamin D, you need to supplement yourself with vitamin D. Okay. Now, having said that, let's look at the nutrients that's needed. And if you don't have enough, you're going to get a multiple sclerosis. And the lungs needs it as well. Then we're looking at breast cancer. I do help a lot of breast cancer patients and cancer patients for that matter. And if you go to the gym, correct, you need vitamin D because the grip strength, when you got to hold your weights, not only in the gym, you got to hold a lot of things with your grips. So you need vitamin D. Now we're talking about bone health itself, prostate cancer, you need vitamin D to help yourself. Skin disease, blood pressure. Okay, if your blood pressure is high, that means chances are you are insufficient of vitamin D as well. Now, in the incidence of atherosclerosis, the cause of many heart and cardiovascular conditions, some of the most common drugs are statins, which lowers your cholesterol. Now, they prescribe you statin so that you will not get atherosclerosis, correct? But this drug itself is causing it. Now, approximately 70% of the adult population over the age of 40 living with cardiovascular disease are taking cholesterol-lowering drugs. 93% of them are taking statin drugs. So if you look at here, the picture itself, the graph here, look at here, everybody is looking at a simple or easy way out. Almost all of us. And it is the wrong thing when you put in toxins in your body. Every single prescription drugs is a toxin. And these toxins need to be cleared by the body. And every single moment, your body is clearing these toxins. And how they clear the toxins is through your sweat, through you going urination, all right? If you're having a diarrhea, that means there's something is wrong with your body. Some toxins, the body is clearing it that way as well. Perspirations. And that's how the body clears it. So drink plenty of water and eat good food. The 30% part is where people have been ignoring. And we should be putting that 30%. You can see all the food, the vegetables, the avocados and all. That should be 70 to 100%. And not the 70% where people are taking prescription drugs. Now, studies have shown that statins only benefit 1% of the populations. Now, let's say if you 100 people, let's say we have 100 people in these Zoom presentations, correct? Yet everybody's taking statin. 99 of us is actually having the side effects of it. We doesn't even benefit from it. Only 1% may benefit from it. Now, adverse effects of statin, cataracts, diabetes, cancer, cognitive impairments, musculoskeletal disorders, muscle and joint pain. This is very common when you take statin, yeah? Constipation, diarrhea, and headache as well. So these adverse effects of statin. At the same time, the bad news is that when you are being prescribed with statin by your cardiologist or your doctor itself, this is what happened, okay? The statin lowers the cholesterol in your body. At the same time, what it does is that it also lowers your COQ10. Now, COQ10 is needed by the body so that you will not get heart attack. Now, you get what I mean here? So this is what's going to happen. The doctor will prescribe you statin and at the same time prescribe you COQ10. Your body produce COQ10 naturally, but because you bring down the cholesterol from your liver produces it, correct, and the statin reduces it, and your liver also reduces the production of COQ10, the doctor will prescribe COQ10 and they will make more money, correct? Simple as that. The pharmaceutical industry are benefiting from it, not you. So the more educated you become about your own body and your health, the more you can discuss with your doctor. I wouldn't say argue, but you can discuss with your doctor. If I sit down with them, I will argue with them. Well, anyway, bad news is atorvastatin decreases the coenzyme Q10, as I said earlier on, okay, in the blood of patients at risk for cardiovascular diseases and stroke. And you need coenzyme Q10. Now, effects of statin in reducing cholesterol, if you can see here, the large top there is a pill, the brown, the color of brown. There's a pill. When you consume it, the cholesterol level goes down. 300 other enzymes and etc. is needed because of your cholesterol. Your liver produces this. Unfortunately, when you take in the statin drugs, these 300 other enzymes basically is being reduced the optimum level of what is needed. And at the same time, CoQ10 goes down as well. And cholesterol and CoQ10 is needed by your heart. So this is from National Library of Medicine's NIH. Coenzyme Q10, this is the essential nutrient. It is produced by your own body. Unfortunately, you're bringing it down by taking statin. Now, at the same time, the good news is the moment you stop taking statin, everything goes back to normal. That's why it says that you have an intelligent body. Every single one of us inside here. Why do you want to play God with it? Correct? Just provide your body with the right nutrients from nature. Your body will heal and your body will recover. And that's what is needed. So the moment you stop statin, your CoQ10 goes up again. Now, it is worth noting that studies have indicated that statin drugs actually increase the calcification of arterial plaque. Calcification is another issue that we need to look at because statin does that. And calcifications, a lot of patients, they say that they have heart attack because of calcification in their arterial, which can be cleared. The doctors will say that if you have calcification, the only way is surgery. No. Nature provides the solution. There's a way to do it. Vitamin K2, very simple, correct? Vitamin K2, decalcify it. When you have a calcification of your arterial plaque, vitamin K2, decalcify it. So you need to take a lot of vitamin K2 and a lot of probiotics because your gut helps you with it as well. Now, another study published in the journal Molecular and Cellular Biology found that atorvastatin increased the calcification of your vascular smooth muscles cells dose dependently. The more of the drug was used, the more calcification was seen. As you can see, the pictures down at the bottom here, as you use statin for a very long term, you will definitely get a heart attack because this arteries is being calcified. This is what happened. So
I want to talk about some of the most popular drugs that are sold out there, statin drugs for lowering cholesterol. A number of them have been pulled off the market after being on a couple of years and then being found out that they are dangerous. What's your thought on the whole premise of those kinds of drugs?
It's mass murder. It always leads to hardening of the liver. It always cuts off at least 20 years of your lifespan. Your brain is made from cholesterol. A statin drug is a cholesterol lowering drug. So if you want to have a brain the size of a marble, just keep on taking them. You do not die of too much cholesterol. You die of not enough. And I will say this one more time. You do not die of too much cholesterol. There is no such thing as too much cholesterol. You die only from not enough. In a burn unit in hospitals, we use 20 to 28 hard-boiled eggs a day in a burn victim because we know only cholesterol builds healthy cells. Every single cell in your system, 87% of the new cell is built from cholesterol. Where does this cholesterol come from? See, where they came up with it, they just made up the number of 250. They just made it up. There's no science, no nothing. They tested a couple of people living in a trailer park from trash that they eat and kind of like came up with the average is kind of like 250 of combined cholesterol and made this, that's what everybody should have. It's completely artificially made up. I have patients that have cholesterol of 600. They're the healthiest people, never been sick. And you know where the mist comes from? People take table salt. Table salt is 1/3 glass, 1/3 sand, 1/3 salt. So now the glass in the table salt is cutting the arteries. Now you're bleeding to death internally. Now the cholesterol goes there and stops the bleeding, keeps you alive, saves your life. Now the cholesterol is a bad guy because it narrows, of course, if it clogs an open wound that's bleeding, of course that narrows for a short amount of time the blood way. And then they say, oh yeah, because it's now narrowed, it's raising your blood pressure. And what's raising your blood pressure is causing the narrowing. It's a cholesterol. Therefore, cholesterol is causing high blood pressure. Wow. Very interesting. So the statin drugs are the most dangerous, useless drugs ever invented. And please remember, your brain is built from cholesterol. 92 to 99% of the brain is built from cholesterol. The brain shrinks first. With every statin drug, you start shrinking your brain. And this is what people need to understand. Just have a couple of bananas on an empty stomach in the morning, and you will see your liver get so much better really, really fast, and it works so much better. Just help your body. You don't need to cure it. You don't need to fix it. Just help it. It cures itself. Because my statement, there is no healing force outside the human body, always comes true at the end of the day. There's absolutely no healing force outside the human body. So every time they tell you there's a magic pill, and do you know why they always take the drugs off the market? When they become free for generic and they don't make the big bucks anymore, they just don't want the other people make.
Well, there we go. So statin is a useless drug, and your cholesterol, your LDL, low density lipoprotein, plays a vital part in your body, because when you put toxicity in your body, all right, inflammation rise, and these are the one that is causing chaos in your arterial, your blood arterial, your vessels, your veins, and LDL has to go there and rectifies the issues. And they keep plastering it. So the more toxins you put, that's what LDL will do. They'll keep going and keep going and keep going. They're doing you a favor, actually. Once the scarring of your walls, of your arteries, has healed, the HDL, high density lipoprotein, will go in and clear the LDL. So when you provide the body the healing factor, healing means you provide the right nutrients for the body, it will heal by itself. And we have known this for thousands of years. Ayurveda treatment, or Ayurvedic for some of them will say that, the TCM treatment, the homeopathy, naturopathy, it has always been there. Our grandma, your grandmother's grandparents and their grandparents has been using it. Why are we moving away from it? And this is why we need to go back to nature. So ladies and gentlemen, what will happen when you are prescribed statins and your cholesterol level is too low? You will get type 2 diabetes. Remember earlier in my presentations, I said that the risk factor is type 2 diabetes, where you're going to get a heart disease. But when you provide your body with statins, you're going to get type 2 diabetes. Depression, when you are depressed, what they will do is that they will prescribe you medications. Remember, I showed you the slides earlier on as well on how the medication are increasing. The depression medication is increasing your blood pressure. So they are playing with you. You are the experimental people that you are using with their pharmaceutical drugs. Liver damage definitely will come in later. Liver, kidney will go too, because there's too much medication that you're taking. And once your kidney has gone, basically you got to go dialysis. Again, they will say that they're trying to save you. And every dialysis treatment is going to cost you thousands of dollars. And who benefits from it? So, well, you decide on that. Rise in blood pressure when you take all these prescription drugs. So which is the culprit for cardiovascular diseases? Cholesterol is definitely no. The secret killer is inflammation. Now, inflammations, if you look at here, Time magazine says here, the secret killer, the surprising link between inflammation and heart attacks, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases. So this is one thing that you need to clear from your body. So according to Men's Health, if you're truly worried about the health of your heart, the buzzword to keep in mind is inflammation. not cholesterol. Cholesterol is not a bad thing. Now, again, National Library of Medicine says this small, dense, low-density lipoprotein as a biomarker for atherosclerotic diseases. It's the SD-LDL that you need to go and check. So when you go for your medical check, you tell the doctor, I want to check my SD-LDL, small, dense, low-density lipoprotein. Don't ask them to check your LDL or your HDL, okay? That doesn't play a part in you getting heart diseases. It is this SDLD. At the same time, you must ask your doctor, write down, you got to write this down, yeah? Ask them to check your homocysteine level, C-reactive protein. I'm going to show you as well. So homocysteine level, this is what you need to check. So SDLDL, homocysteine as well, because elevated homocysteine levels increase the risk for cardiovascular disease. Now, homocysteine clinical levels should be 0 to 15. So if you have more than 15, you are like a walking time bomb. Now, you can be active. You think that you are healthy, running here, running there, but your homocysteine level can go very high up. And now, higher homocysteine levels can indicate a deficiency of these vitamins. There are a lot of vitamins out there that you are not getting enough. That's why your homocysteine level is high. So apart from vitamin deficiency, higher homocysteine levels have been linked to heart disease, cognitive dysfunction, and dementia as well. So heavy coffee consumption and plasma, homocysteine, a randomized control trial in healthy volunteers. So here, we're talking about heavy consumption of coffee. Now, it is not the caffeine that is causing this. It is your chlorogenic acid. That's the one that causes your homocysteine level to go high. So a cup should be okay. But for some people, they have issues with their liver. The liver cannot detox this caffeine or coffee itself. I've known some people, they cannot drink coffee. The moment they drink coffee, that's it. They're going to fall sick. Okay. There are people who are like that. Now, everybody is healthy like me. Okay. Now, having said that, if you are a coffee drinker, don't drink too much. The chlorogenic acid is one of the acids that you have to look at. Now, influence of mental stress on the plasma, homocysteine level, and blood pressure change in young men as well. This is in PubMed. I've given you the link later on. Now, at the same time, C-reactive protein. These are the inflammation marker again. So we check about SDLDL. We talk about homocysteine. And now we're going to talk about CRP, C-reactive protein. There's another marker you must tell your doctor that I want to check when they ask you to go for medical check, okay? You can do it through your blood. Now, how high is high for your heart? If you have more than 10, it is considered as abnormally high. So this is something that you need to look at, okay? So you can always go and do your own research on C-reactive protein. Now, at the same time, there are viruses and bacteria that affects your heart health. Parvovirus, B19, rotavirus, human herpes virus, enterovirus, Staphylococcus aureus, Trypanosoma cruzi infections. Now, there are other bacteria, Helicobacter pylori as well. Now, these viruses and bacteria, you can kill them, okay, through antiviral properties from nature. Again, everything comes from nature. You need to understand. Once you know what you should be taking, you should be as healthy as a bull. That's it. And don't put toxins into your body, okay? Now, at the same time, Howard Health Publishing, this is a medical school, says that heart failure caused by an infection, meaning viruses or bacteria. Now, at the same time, the calcium score, presence of plaque, remember we talked about the calcification of your arteries earlier on. So if you have about 400, that is a very dangerous zone. In fact, even if you have 11 to 100, these are the markers, you should be doing something about it already. Don't wait until it is too late. A lot of us are waiting until things become too late, then they want to do something about it. Don't. This is why we are giving you these informations. Now, how do we rectify these issues now? Enough with all the bad news, correct? But it is not actually bad news. It is news for you to take note. It's an information. Now, how do we rectify this issue? Simple. Natural prevention and treatment is possible because vitamin B2 helps to reduce your homocysteine level. Remember, homocysteine is one of the inflammation marker that you need to bring down. Folate does that as well. So vitamin B6 lowers your homocysteine. Very simple. You can get it from nature, from food that you eat. At the same time, if you don't have enough, almost 97% of the global population, 97% don't have enough. There's a reason why they must take supplements, okay? Now, benefits of taking methylcobalamin B12. B12 is another vitamins that we must take. These family members of the B complex, okay? So methylcobalamin to normalize elevated homocysteine of vitamin B12 deficiencies, vegetarian. So if you are vegetarian, you most probably you're going to be deficiency in vitamin B12 because it always B12 comes from eggs, comes from meat. And if you're a vegetarian and you don't take eggs, so most probably you're going to be deficient in methylcobalamin as well. Now this is from nature. Now at the same time, methylcobalamin on lowering total homocysteine plasma concentration is hemodialysis patients receiving high-dose folic acid supplementation. When we talk about folic acid, if you are a pregnant lady, I believe that we have quite a number of ladies inside here. When you are pregnant, when you go and see your gynecologist, the doctors will give you folic acid. Now, folic acid is a synthetic form of folate. Folate is the one that you must take, and you can take plenty of folate or get plenty of folate from high vegetables food that you eat. Vegetables, yeah. I have a lady friend. She doesn't take any pharmaceutical drugs, nothing, zero. When she was pregnant with the first child and the second child, the gynecologist will give one big bag of a lot of stuffs. She will just bring it back home and chuck it and throw it away. And she will rely on the food intake, proper good food intake. The child's are excellent condition, came out healthy, and she is healthy as well. And she does not take any prescription drugs until today, zero at home. The husband does the same thing as well. No prescription drugs. And both children did not take any vaccinations until today. And I've not seen them sick. One of them are 6 years old. The other one is 4 years old. They are not sick at all. Now, having said that, B12 converts homocysteine back into methionine. Now, when your homocysteine level is high, when you supply your body with vitamin B12, now homocysteine is a bad thing in your body, correct? When B12 comes into your body, it converts it into methionine. Now, methionine, or some people call it methionine, all right? So, but we call it methionine. What it does is that methionine is a very high antioxidant. Now, we want to supply our body with antioxidant, correct? So this is what the body does. The body is smart enough to convert everything into good stuff for your body. Now, the form of vitamin B12 is crucial. The reason why we say that is because methylcobalamin is the natural form. And if you take cyanocobalamin, now a lot of supplements out there comes with a synthetic form that is called cyanocobalamin. Now, we don't want that. So that's why this says here, the form of vitamin B12 is crucial. So folate and homocysteine, this is what we need, okay? Folate itself. So it reduces the homocysteine level. At the same time, it normalizes it. Remember, we need that. Also, B12 and folate changes the homocysteine to methionine. At the same time, the importance of folate to bring down homocysteine level. Now, clinical nutrition says here, B vitamins and the relation to severity of chronic heart failure as well. We need B12. Now, I make it bigger here so that you can read. Total homocysteine has been linked to severity of chronic heart failure. Elevated total homocysteine concentrations are mainly caused by folate and vitamin B12 deficiencies. We don't have enough of this. That's the reason we are getting heart diseases. Now, let's look at the effects of resveratrol on blood homocysteine level, on homocysteine-induced oxidative stress, apoptosis, and cognitive dysfunctions in rats as well. So we have nearly the same genes as the rats. That's why they do a lot of experimental on rats. So you need to take trans resveratrol, that is the higher quality of resveratrol. So when you go and buy from iHerb, GNC, or from Watson for that matter, it is cheap. You need to understand this. When you put cheap stuff into your body, it may not give you the benefits that you need. And you're going to keep buying it. It may be $10, $15, $20, and you keep buying it day in, day out, eating it, but it doesn't give you the benefits. Invest in your health because you are worth more than that. There's no money to be put when it comes to your health and to your body. So you need to get the trans resveratrol. And when you sit down with them, ask them, is this a trans resveratrol inside this bottle? All right. Now, at the same time, resveratrol protects against homocysteine-induced cell damage via cell stress response in neuroblastoma cells. Now, neuroblastoma is a type of cancer. It's a rare cancer. Now, when you have neuroblastoma, okay, I'm going to divert a bit here. I need to understand how big of an issue is this. Neuroblastoma, the treatment for neuroblastoma is about $2.76 million. Recently, there is this boy, who's a 7-year-old boy, who was diagnosed with neuroblastoma. And when I look into his profile and looking at the description that they were giving, and at the same time what kind of medications that they're going to give, and they were thinking of giving him immunotherapy, and they are giving naxitamab. Naxitamab is another medication that they will give as an immunotherapy. All right, immunotherapy means therapy for your immune system, and they're giving drugs, which to me it doesn't make sense. Because naxitamab will cost you, one vial will cost you $22,000 Singapore dollar, yeah? $22,000 Singapore dollar. And apparently in Singapore, and this boy is Singaporean, they are in Singapore. And in Singapore, they don't have this drug. They have to go to US and get this drug. The 7-year-old boy has to take this medication that will cost him a bomb. And the serious side effects from this medication, there are at least 25 serious side effects. Your liver gonna go gone, all right? Your kidney is gonna go bonkers because of this immunotherapy. And $2.6 million. So if you are a parent, what would you do? Correct? You got to go back to nature. So resveratrol can help this boy, I believe, because it helps with the stress, the cell stress in neuroblastoma cells. So quercetin and its metabolites inhibit recombinant human angiotensin. I know that this presentation is about heart disease, but the ingredients and the solution from nature provides you, it can benefit you in many other areas as well. So impact on vitamin C and E on CRP levels. All these are research that's been done by doctors and scientists. At the same time, quercetin and resveratrol is good for the heart. Now, quercetin and resveratrol also helps you with the clearing of the toxicity that you have put into your body. Now, at the same time, magnesium is also needed by your heart. We are all lack of magnesium. We also need potassium. Okay. Now, vitamin K1, remember about the calcium, the calcification of your artery. We need vitamin K2, and it can come from many forms as well. Broccoli does have vitamin K1. Natto It's also helping you. It's a fermented Japanese food, very high in vitamin K2. Now, the best form of vitamin K2 will come from MK isoforms. Okay, natto is one of them, and it has a lot of different types of vitamin K2 inside here. And this is one of the food that you should put into your daily diet. Right? It's a bit smelly. Okay, some people may not like it, but the Japanese has been eating this since they were young, so they are so used to this. Okay. Now, uses for huzang. Huzang is another herb that we have used to help people with the hardening of the arteries itself. Now, huzang can also be used for cancer, for burns, for osteomyelitis. There's an infection of the bone. If you have gout, can also use this herb. This herb is called huzang. All right, coughing, hepatitis. If you have vaginal discharge, joint pain, snake bites, in fact, you can use this herb as well. Now, huzang has a very high antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and it also helps you with your neuro and cardioprotective functions as well. So there are many benefits just from one herb itself. So astragalus is another herb that we are using right now. It is called an adaptogen as well, meaning it helps protect the body from physical, mental, or emotional stress. What it does is that it is treatment for chronic hepatitis, as an adjunctive therapy for cancer, and as for traditional remedy for heart disease as well. Traditional remedy for heart disease. Yeah, remember, always go back to nature. Ayurvedic treatment, TCM, has been there for thousands of years, and there's a reason why they are still around. So astragalus has also been promoted for stimulation of the spleen. Spleen is a one in TCM. Spleen, kidney is your powerhouse. You need to take care of your spleen and your kidney. Now, liver, lung, circulatory, and urinary system to help treat arthritis, asthma, and nervous conditions, and to lower blood sugar levels and blood pressure as well. So amla is the next weapon that we need to use to go against heart disease. Now, we know amla has been used in Ayurvedic treatment for thousands of years, and we are still using it until today. The Indians are using amla, and some of them are just buying from they go to Serangoon, go to the market and buy amla for $1 or $2, and they just eat just like that. Okay, so what we have done is that we take the extract of it and we put it into our supplements, and you can use that as well. So Rhodiola rosea is another herb that helps you. It has a therapeutic candidate on cardiovascular diseases. You can look at all these herbs that we are using. At the same time, National Library of Medicine says this: Uncaria tomentosa, or sometimes people call it a cat's claw. If you go to TCM, you tell them Uncaria tomentosa, they would not know. TCM shops. You tell them it's a cat's claw, or in the Chinese, you can say it cat's claw in Mandarin or what, and then they will understand what it is. Now, Uncaria tomentosa also helps you. It has an antiviral property as well. So it can help you with a spike protein. Remember, for those who have taken this mRNA experimental vaccine, this COVID experimental vaccine, spike protein and graphene oxide is one of the toxin that is inside it, and you must clear it, because the spike protein and the graphene oxide is causing you having myocarditis and pericarditis. Remember, for those who came late, too bad for you. Those who came in earlier, you would have seen that my slide shows you the data. From the last 2 years, there are 2,800% increase in myocarditis and pericarditis. Last 2 years only, yeah? And last 2 years, we have introduced experimental COVID vaccine into our body. So this is what happened. So you need to clear it. It can be cleared. Now, traditional remedies for modern times. We are using traditional remedies because we come from nature. The body is designed that way, and nature provides us everything. So we have formulated all our products using nature and using the principle of ancient remedies. We use Ayurvedic treatment and TCM. So we use a lot of herbs. We use a lot of fruits as well at the same time. So sourced from nature, presented in the most convenient modern form, because we don't have time. We wake up, we go to work, we come back, we're going to prepare dinner, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's the same thing over and over again. So that's why we put it into a supplementation form so that you can help yourself. So HL Span, the ingredients inside here, we're looking at amla. I've given you the facts about amla. Onchera tomentosa, ECGC, astragalus, rhodiola rosea, fisetin, lycopene, Cisancia tubulosa, luteolin, resveratrol. We're putting in trans resveratrol inside. Curcumin. For thousands of years, we have been using this. Luteolin is one of the most expensive vegetables. We put it inside our HL Span as well. We have more ingredients inside here. We have 19 ingredients to be exact. Apigenin, AFA extract, because as you grow older, AFA extract is needed to increase your stem cells productions in your body. Well, every single ingredients inside here has its function. And what you are reading here is just a little bit information of its function. The function is much, much more than what is shown here. Astaxanthin is one of the most powerful antioxidant known to mankind, and it is what we needed. It's for that reason we put astaxanthin inside here, because it is 6,000 times more powerful than vitamin C. Why don't we just take the best, correct? Because you have the best body. That's what you need to understand. Now, National Library of Medicines again says that omega-3 fatty acids for cardiovascular disease prevention. Now, a lot of people are taking omega-3 fatty acids, but we also need to get the best omega-3 fatty acids. Now, having said that, new evidence that omega-3 fatty acids have a role in primary prevention of coronary heart disease. This is from the Journal of Public Health and Emergency. Now, at the same time, higher olive oil intake associated with lower risk of cardiovascular disease mortality. So what we are doing here is that we also put in olive oil, or the extract for that matter, in other forms into our supplementation. We also put in grape seed extract for the prevention of cardiac disease and the prevention of, okay, I just made it bigger there actually. Now, having said that, this is C-wise. Remember, we talked about omega-3. So algal omega-3 is put inside here. Astaxanthin, we know that is one of the most powerful antioxidant known to mankind. Grape seed extract helps you as well with your heart. Now, hydroxysterol, this is the compound from olive oil. And this is what we put inside our C-wise. Vitamin D, remember the power of vitamin D, and vitamin E as well. So we combine these ingredients so that it works synergistically together to give you the best benefit in terms of health. Now, having said that, you got to avoid trans fat. These are some of the things that we don't take, okay, because it's a double trouble for your heart health. Now, food loaded with trans fat, plantain or margarine, okay, remember butter is good for you, yeah. So these are plantain or margarine, Crisco. I gave you a brief history of how Crisco started. Donut, Coffee Mate, the 3-in-1, 2-in-1 coffee, chips, these are bad. Biscuits, all type of biscuits are bad for you. KFC, McDonald's, if you eating Maggi mee, in Malay they will always say that Maggi mee cepat dimasak, sedap dimakan. Right? There's a song that goes around with it. Cepat dimasak, sedap dimakan. Because it's only 2 minutes. It cooked very fast, correct? 2 minutes you can have a meal already. But unfortunately, the meal that you're taking, even though it's just 2 minutes for people who are so busy, in long term, it's going to be really bad for you. And it's very, very cheap for you to eat. But in long term, in terms of health, you're going to pay heftily because of what you have done. 10 reasons to ban. The top 10, there are many other reasons, but the top 10 reasons to ban trans fat from a diet immediately, because it lowers your high density lipoprotein. This is what is needed by the body. The higher you have HDL, the better it is. And the lower you have your LDL, the better it is. Trans fats causes atherosclerosis. Trans fat affects your brain, your memory. It makes you obese and insulin sensitive. Increase vulnerability to skin diseases. Makes you depressed. Also affect your emotion regulation in long term. It is also a carcinogen, meaning it's bad for the body, toxin, okay? Bad for your kidney functions and bad for your liver as well. Now, these are the people that we have helped. Now, this is Baharuddin bin Mokri. So he has 6 blockages in his heart, in his arteries. The doctor advised him to have a heart bypass after consultation, that he needs to go for the surgery. At the same time, the doctors told him that any surgery to my heart may cause him to be bedridden or death. This is according to Mr. Baharuddin, yeah, or we call him Den. If he goes for the surgery, it may cause him to be bedridden or death. So his condition was really bad. He could hardly walk and felt breathless all the time. When he was introduced by his friend, it's always someone introduce you. The reason why your friend introduced you to this seminar is, one, for the information that you're going to get. Second is because they care for you. And this is what I do. I introduce to a lot of people about the supplements because I know in and out about these supplements and what it can do to your body. We have one of the highest grade of supplements out there, and the functions are tremendous. Now, he started having more strength and energy just after 2 weeks consuming our products, our supplements, and he could walk more than 10 meters. Before that, he couldn't. Even his colleagues noticed that he no longer need to take rest frequently. Now, the products, the supplements that he has taken is HL Span, HJCs, and Purity for the 18 months, and he has led his normal life. Now, the amazing part here is that these are the blockages that he had. The reason why I say he had is because there's no more blockages. Okay. Your body is designed to heal when you provide the body the right nutrients. It is simple as that. Now, at the same time, there's another gentleman. This is Mr. Rahim Sado, we call it, because he used to work out a lot before. And now he's a cyclist. He loved to cycle. Now, before he took our supplements, the doctor told him that he has 3 blockages in his heart, and he needs to go for bypass as well. Now, he refused the medications, and he just take the supplements from us, and after 2 months, the blockages as well disappeared. As we say earlier on, when you provide the body with the right nutrients, it will heal. Now, this is a diploma in nutrition and diet introductory course that we provide. So what we do, instead of just introducing supplements to you, we also teach people on how you can become a diet and nutrition advisor. The reason why we show you this is because then you become well informed about health and diet and nutrition, and you can help yourself, and at the same time you can pass the knowledge to your family members, to your loved ones, and to your friends as well. And both Dr. Zul and myself, we are the facilitator for this. We help people in getting this diploma, and we do not charge anyone for this. We're just helping you. We're just giving back. All right. So these are the references that I have gotten all my information from, my data. Everything is from these references. You can snapshot of this picture. I do have another 4 slides to show you on the references itself. Now, these other references that you need to look at, all the data comes from here. Okay. Now, let me just, okay, give me 1 second here. Right, let me move this away. Stop sharing. Okay. Okay, something went wrong here. I'm going to stop sharing first. Let me see what happened to my presentation. You went missing. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to stop this one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to, let me open it back. Okay, there we go. Okay. Again, it happens. Okay, these are other references that you can look at. You can snapshot of this picture if you like.
Ramesh, the screen is not showing here.
Give me 1 second here. All right, you guys can see this, yeah?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Other references that you can look at here: blood pressure medications can lead to increased risk of problems that you're going to have. Okay, diet high in antioxidants, that's what you need to slash your heart diseases. These are all the YouTube, you can watch in YouTube. Natural Medicine Journal is inside here as well. Okay, so resources that I got in from censored.news is good to read. Heartdisease.news. Naturalnews.com is a powerful website. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at here, the greatest wealth is health, because you are worth so much more. Okay. And this is what you need to look at here. With that, I'm going to end my presentation and I'm going to pass this back to Mr. Rumi. Thank you, Mr. Rumi.
Thank you, Mr. Ramesh. That was a very informative presentation, compressed within an hour on the topic of heart disease and its prevention. Just mind-boggling on what he has done. That is a very impressive work. If I may add, in Singapore itself, 21 people die from cardiovascular disease every day. Cardiovascular disease accounted for about 32% of all deaths in Singapore in 2021. This means that almost 1 out of 3 deaths in Singapore is due to heart disease or stroke. Between male and female, there are about 4,536 male deaths as compared to 3,226 female deaths in 2021. These are figures from the Immigration and Checkpoint Authority of Singapore, so these figures cannot be doubted. Treatment can cost you a lot. So what are the numbers like? A median cost of conventional heart bypass surgery in public hospital, unsubsidized, is about 36,000 Sing dollars. And for private hospital, it's about $75,000. These data are from the Ministry of Health themselves. On the other hand, we have learned on how to rectify cardiovascular disease from this event through diet and lifestyle, as mentioned from our wonderful and knowledgeable speaker, Mr. Ramesh, tonight. I do remember my mom, who told me not to take drugs and become a useful person in society. I believe most of us have heard about this advice through our parents and from our education centers. But here we are today, taking home bags and bags of drugs and giving it to our kids and parents. That is the scary part, is that it's a norm now. We are actually drug pushers, advising people to take paracetamol, Panadol, take this and take that drug. We are doing it unconsciously. We need to change this mindset after being enlightened tonight. Let us get improvement in our immunity and health through proper food intake and supplements, and try to avoid alternative treatment, that is the pharmacies and the hospitals. You will need to also change our mindset on how you wish to live your life. Strong mind, strong body. And talking about healthy minds, we have launched a new product called CUIs. Okay, with that, maybe I have Dr. Zhu or Nancy who wish to elaborate on this product. Nancy or Dr. Zhu, you want to talk more about this product on CUIs?
On what? C-wise?
Yes, correct.
Oh, I think this the zoo didn't have I mean, Ramesh, you want to continue?
I can do that. All right. So let me just show you what CUIs do. And we just launched it a few days ago. And this is one of the most powerful supplements that we have. Of course, HL Span is another powerful supplements that we have. So this is how CUIs looks like. Let me just open up this one a bit more so everybody can see that. So it has 6 ingredients inside here. I spoke about this earlier on. And the scientific research and the data shows that the omega-3, we get it from algae, all right? And then we put it inside here. It helps with your cardiovascular disease. At the same time, it also helps with your cognitive improvement as well, neurocognitive. Astaxanthin, one of the most powerful antioxidant known to mankind is also inside here. Grapeseed extract, we had a friend, according to Dr. Zul, he has a friend who has been taking grapeseed for the last 40 years, and he is as healthy as a bull. He's 60 years old now, and he doesn't even have white hair. All his hair is black because of this one ingredient, grapeseed. So we also put inside our CYs. Now, hydroxysterol, it comes from olives, and we all know that olive oil is very beneficial for us. Correct? This is what we have done. We have put into CYs, and vitamin D is one of the most powerful vitamin. It is, I would call it mother of all vitamins, because it has many benefits in our body, and it also reduces your chances of getting cancer by 77%. Now, combinations of vitamin D and vitamin E. Now, vitamin E itself prevents you from getting osteosclerosis when you have enough in your system, in your body itself. And the healthy level of your blood, the hemoglobin level, the brain and skin. And of course, vitamin D and vitamin E is also an antioxidant. Yeah. We also put in fucoidan in our CYs. Now, fucoidan is another powerful ingredient. You can just Google some company selling just fucoidan alone in their CYs, and it can cost them about $200 to $500. It depends on how many mg you put in. We put in 200 mg in our CYs. It is not written here because not enough space, but fucoidan is a very expensive ingredient, and we are putting it inside our CYs. So we have algan, hydroxysterol, astaxanthin, vitamin D, grapeseed extract, vitamin E, and also fucoidan. So this is the latest addition to our family. All right, thank you, Rumi.
Yeah, okay. So basically, CYs is basically on just single itself. We are actually selling it for $139 Sing. As a package, we have 3 CYs selling about $359. So basically, if you want to get this product, please come to our office and actually purchase this. It's very good, and I believe since it's newly launched, we're going to get good testimonies out from this. Okay, so basically, I think we come to a section whereby we do a Q&A from the audience tonight. Okay, the first one, actually, I've seen from the chat here, Gerald Tan. What is this doctor's name? Any YouTube link? Gerald Tan, may I know where actually this reference of you asking for the doctor's name? You can unmute yourself if you want to ask.
Oh yeah, you asked earlier. The doctor was talking about the statins. But somebody has put the YouTube link and private message me.
I see.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so we move over to another question from Dina. What is thalassemia, and can the condition be reversed? Anybody take us from doctors? Yeah, Ramesh?
Okay, can do. So thalassemia is basically, okay, according to them, is an inherited blood disorder. Okay, that's what they say. All right. So it has a less hemoglobin level, less oxygenated red blood cell, but according to them, it's inherited. But to us, is that we're looking at a genetic defect. See, your DNA itself, every single cells in your body have genes in your body. We're looking at your genetic defects when it comes to hemoglobin cells. And we believe that once you rectify the genetic defects, you can also rectify this thalassemia as well.
Okay, any other questions coming in from the audience tonight? Give you 20 seconds.
Victor, raise your hand. Yep. Okay, Victor, any question?
Yeah, Victor, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Ramesh. Just now you mentioned that I think 2 persons has got blockage in a few arteries in the heart. And how long did it take for them to clear the blockage? And then what are the products that they took to clear the blockage?
Right. Thank you, Victor, for your question.
Ramesh.
Yeah.
Ramesh, you know about Dean. If you are not so sure, I can answer that.
Can do. I will just show you the slides, and Nancy can answer that because Nancy knows Dean very well. So this is Dean, the one that with the 6 blocked arteries, Victor. So how long, Nancy, took him? We know that Rahim Sado is here. Okay, 2 months. So Rahim Sado is 2 months. He has 3 blockages. And he does not need to do bypass anymore because it has cleared his blockages.
And may I know what are the products that they took?
Okay. So he was taking HL span, H stasis, and purity. He also takes synergy and big glow.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome, Victor. All right, Victor, we do have the supplements at our office. You are most welcome to come to our office and get the person that introduced you to this presentation to help you as well, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe there's no more questions coming from the audience tonight. Nancy, our CEO and founder of D-Ways, do you have anything to add before we end this session, by the way?
Not really. Only thing is maybe yes, I talk a little bit about the dean who Ramesh was talking about. He actually, when he came, he really was very bad condition. He was breathless. He could hardly walk, and the doctor wouldn't do the surgery on him because the chances of him being becoming a vegetable or even die is in fact the doctor say only 5% hope, no, 95% chance of being worse, no, after the operation. So when he came to us, he just he bought. In fact, he bought the HR span, H-stasis, and the purity. Actually, at that time, last year, there was no synergy yet. Huh? So he took the 3 products, and in fact, within weeks, he feedback to us that he was less breathless, and within like 2 months, he was able to actually get back to work, and he was able to even climb the stairs, and he even said that the colleague was even noticed that he didn't need to take a nap or sleep in between his work because he was working as a security guard, and up to now still of course as a security guard, no? So he had to work night shift and all that. But at one stage, he thought he wouldn't be able to work anymore. Okay, now, of course, he has been taking the product more than a year already. And to him, I mean, it's like normal. He goes to work, no complaint really about breathlessness and about tiredness.
Okay, so Lina has asked another question here. Says that what are the D-Ways supplements recommended for thalassemia? I would say HR span, H-stasis, C-wise, and also synergy. You need to take these 2. Definitely the Purify, that is the new Purify, the new supplements that we have for your gut health. That is going to be another powerful good bacteria that we're going to introduce into your body, because 80% of your gut health, your health comes from your gut. There's another second brain according to Dr. Damo. Yeah, so we got 4 brains in our body. Yeah. All right.
Okay, great. Great questions tonight. Great sharing. Okay, if there's no further question, we'll end the session today. About that, guys? Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Ramesh. And thank you all the doctors here and all the attendees. Have a great evening. And we'll see you again with the next